Well, hello, good evening, and welcome. We're back. It's touring car time again. We're at Oulton Park this week on the Foster's circuit. I think qualifying's just getting underway, so without any further ado, we shall head over and get started with that. Right then, that should be everything up and running.
Fastest lap for John Tim 1:00.5.
And no, you're still not allowed to see the setup, because it's still secret.
There's a car behind.
So we'll do our usual, we'll do outlap and then we'll
17 minutes to do the business. Your
do the
brakes are cold,
commentated
be
one.
careful.
Just let this Audi through.
Your tyres are cold, watch out.
We're joined by Shouty Jim again. So first things first, apologies for the lack of the stream for the Knock Hill race. I did record those races and they are uploaded to the channel if you do want to check them out. But yeah, I went to real life Knock Hill the day before that, and well, I thought it wasn't possible to get sunburned in Scotland. It turns out actually yes, it's very possible, and it happened to me quite badly. So
Fastest lap for Grant's Riddle 1:00.5 seconds.
I spent most of that Sunday seriously considering my life choices and being in a lot of pain. Hence why I wasn't feeling like being live that evening. But anyway, we'll get started across the line, up towards Old Hall Corner. We hit the brakes down to 4th gear, turn the car in, doesn't want to go. Careful not to run too wide on the exit, you'll get a cut track. And then up towards Cascades, 5th gear, 6th gear. Cross the crest and brake down to 5th, and then hard on the brakes into Foster's. It's the short version of the track, so
Sector 1 is 0.4 off the pace.
we go right to the left, accelerating 4th gear through Knickerbrook, which I told you the story about that last time. Up over the crest here, up towards Druids. To the left, brake down to 4th gear, about 90 miles an hour through here. Try to carry as much speed and momentum through as you can. And then brakes all the way down to 2nd gear for the last corner. And then up the hill, up over Deer Leap. Under the bridge. There's the line. It's about a 1 minute lap. It's very fast. It's a very enjoyable circuit to drive, even though it is quite simple. Let's see what we can actually do now.
Yellow flag sector 2. We think Richard Wilkes has binned it.
Need to be careful going through Knickerbrook there. You go too far to the right, you will get a cut track. It's very easy to do.
Sector 3. Sector 3 is yellow. Green flag in sector 3. We think Anders Nielsen has gone off. Yellow flag in sector 2. We think Barber has gone off. The tyre temperatures look good. Sector 2 is 0.2 off the pace.
Made some hardware adjustments since last time as well. The pedal movement issues I was having in the last race have been solved by judicious application of duct tape. That was just a little bit fast into there. looking like it's going to be very tight at the top again. So if you are watching this and you think, ooh, this looks fun, I want to have a go at this, I have left a link in the description of the video, of the stream, to the ISO forums. You'll find everything you need there. There's plenty of spare cars going at the moment. It'd be great to have some more on the grid.
P7. You're 2/10 off the pace in sector
And they're all
3.
fairly closely matched. And they're quite intuitive to drive as well, so do highly recommend.
You're 2/10 off the pace in sector 1.
Let's go past one of the Mondeos.
Yellow flag, caution. Sector 3 is now clear. P5.
Renault does seem to quite like this track. So hopefully we can get some decent results. I know certainly last time we were at Oulton Park we were running quite nicely.
0.4 off the pace.
Until, well, we ate a face full of tyres. Oh, there you go, there's a cut track.
P6.
There we go, that was a good run through there. Right on the limit, but let's see what we can get out of that.
You're 10th off in sector 1.
See, lost the momentum out of Foster's. And it's all gone away. So even with 300 horsepower on tap in this car,
you've got 5 minutes of fuel remaining.
ultimately it's still a relatively big and heavy family saloon. So the power to weight ratio is not great.
Sector 3 is 0.3 off the pace.
Right, we're about halfway through, so we'll come in now, put the fresh tyres on, and give it another go. And just because the left front's melting a bit, we'll try the hard tyres.
Sector 2 is 3.4 seconds off the pace.
Might get a bit more thermal control going.
Watch the track limits, please Dave, watch your speed.
So here we are into the box.
The car in front's lap time is at 1:00.7.
Look at how tight that top of the timesheets are. 100th of a second between three cars. Two of them on the same time. Of course, there's Jonathan's at the top, having just been talking to him saying he's struggling for pace. So of course he goes out and sets pole. That was probably his banker lap as well.
All clear, push now. Cold tyres all round, your brake temperatures look good. The guy in front has just done a 1:00.6 seconds.
Take a few extra corners to get these hard tyres up for temperature. But my hope is they won't overheat as much as the softs. So maybe we'll get a bit more out of them.
Car rejoining.
But we shall see.
P7. Incident in Sector 1, yellow flag. Green flag Sector 1.
Curses.
You've got 10 minutes of fuel remaining. Track limits, this lap will be deleted. Tyre temperatures are good. Sector 1 is 0.3 off the pace.
Left side, clear left.
There we go. I think these hard tyres may actually be quicker.
That's your fastest lap. Sector 3 is 0.2 off the pace. Sector 1 is 0.3 off the pace. 5 minutes to go, 5 minutes left. Sector 2 is now green. Sector 2 is 0.4 off the pace.
Oh, hello, hello.
Yellow flag, 7th position. You're 0.2 off the pace in Sector 1. Sector 2 is green. Alright Dave, you're locking your rears a lot.
Oh, we've got a flat spot. You can feel it in the wheel. You might even be able to hear that. Suboptimal, but we'll keep on.
Sector 3 is 0.4 off the pace. You're a tenth off the pace in Sector 1. Yellow flag, watch out.
So it seems to be the way of me in qualifying. I get onto good laps,
Wilkes has binned it. Green flag, Sector 2.
then I get cut tracks or I put a wheel on the grass and screw it up.
Sector 2 is 0.5 off the pace. Sector 3 is 0.4 off the pace. Just 2 minutes left, 2 minutes to go. You're 0.2 off the pace in Sector 1.
I feel like I need to attack the corner more going through Foster's there. But I'm a little bit worried about the curb on the inside flipping the car.
Okay, Dave, we estimate you've got 5 minutes of fuel remaining.
Should get 2 more laps out of this. Ooh. Oh, nearly. See how on the edge of the car is going down there. You just kiss that grass and you're going, well, wherever the car decides you're going.
Sector 2 is 0.8 off the pace.
Right, we've got 1 more lap. Let's see if we can do something.
That's the end of the session, P7.
Not over yet. Ah, bad exit. Can't improve. It wasn't for a lack of trying. That'll be our 7th then. Again, look how tight those times are. especially near the top of the grid. Bodes well for an exciting evening. Right, hopefully everything's all working nicely and all the sounds are good. Looks like everything should be okay. If not, do yell at me in the comments. I shall try and fix it. Right, we'll put our race fuel in. And we'll have a look at the grid for tonight. Only 14 cars so far, which is a little disappointing, but it's still more than enough for a race. Right, so off the pole then, it's going to be Jonathan Åkerklimpf in the mighty Swedish house brick. That's the Volvo. Then we've got Anders Nilsson here in the Works BMW. Juha Boss, my teammate, in the other Renault. John Team, the other half of the Swedish house brick super team, in the other Volvo. Both of them looking very quick this evening. We've got Nicholas Kirsten in Works Honda. Grant Riddell in his BMW. Me in the other Renault. David Saber, who was looking quite quick earlier in the Peugeot. Be interesting to see where he comes. Richard Wilkes, looks like he's having a little moment in the Audi. Robin de Vos in a Mondeo. Ray Riddell in the second Audi. Michael Drechsler in his Privateer Honda. Jason White in the Privateer Mondeo. That's all we've got so far, so hopefully a few more might show up before the start of the race or for race 2. But let's take a look and see some cars going around the track then while we wait through the warm-up. If you've got any favourites that you'd like to see, do let me know and we'll have a look at them. So here's Drechsler in his Honda. You see the red name on the side of the car and the Total Cup number plates give it away that this is a privateer car. So running in the same race as everyone else, it's not a separate class. It's just it's a little championship within a championship that the BTCC ran at this time.
Fastest lap for Richard Wilkes, 102.4.
To give the independent teams something to race for, because at this point of Super Touring there was no way a little privateer team could keep up with just the sheer amount of money the manufacturers were spending on touring cars at the time. Like some of the budgets we were seeing in Super Touring cars were getting up for pushing F1 levels of spending. And, you know, as we all know, of course, there were literal F1 teams building and racing cars in this. That's why it's the Williams Renault dealer team.
New fastest lap for David Sabre, 101.8.
So here's David Sabre in the Peugeot. And he looked fairly quick
fastest
when I saw him earlier.
John Tim, 1:00.6 seconds.
So hopefully he can have a nice, good race tonight. I do think that this Peugeot 406, especially in its green and gold livery that it would carry the following year from this, that was a very nice looking car. I'm not quite sure the red suits it myself. But that SO Ultron livery that it ran in was very pretty, I think. So here's Yuha Boss in the, well, I suppose the lead Renault now. As we see him coming into Druids.
That's a new fastest lap for John. Tim, 1:00.6.
A bit of mid-corner understeer there. I know he's running pretty much the same setup I am. So thank you to Yuha for that. You see he comes over the start line to click off another lap. Third so far in the warm-up. Uses all of the curb on the exit there, gets a good exit out of Old Hall Corner. Hurls the car into Cascades.
Okay, Dave, 5 minutes to go, 5 minutes left.
And you see him using all of the track there. And up through Knickerbrook. Accelerating all the way uphill, probably kept it flat. This looks like it could be a quick lap. That was much cleaner through Druids that time. There you go, look, 7 tenths up on his last lap, but slower than first by 2.5 tenths. He comes out of the final corner. Of course, that's Lodge Corner, isn't it? I remembered now. Across the line, that puts him second so far. It's John Team in the lead at the moment in the Volvo. The different engine sound as this one's running I think it's a 5-cylinder straight engine it has. There's one other interesting thing with the Super Touring regs. It was a 2-litre engine, but it was up to you what you wanted to do with that. So that's why we've got. I think most teams went for a standard inline 4, but there was scope for other things like this 5-cylinder or the V6 you see in the Mondeo. That's a very quick time he's putting in there, 1 minute 0.5. It's not far off what was off pole position. So we see him coming through Island Bend, not Island Bend, that's Foster's Bend. Island Bend's a bit further to the left on a different layout. Up over the crest, up towards Druids.
Lap for Grant Riddle, 1:00.5.
Car's looking very lively through there. Ooh, very lively. Backs it into the corner there. Saves it with a throttle and keeps going. And he brings it into the pits. And now Grant Riddle's gone fastest in the warm-up. Can never count him out. I know he's had some PC issues lately that's cost him, especially in the F1 series, but hopefully we won't have any of that tonight. We've had a few good battles with him this season. Perhaps we'll have another one tonight. Of course, this car's rear-wheel drive, unlike most of the other cars in the field. As you see there, as he hangs the tail out, coming out of Lodge. So, it's easier on its tyres, but you don't have that fairly reliable floor it to save it thing you can do with a front-wheel drive car. Anyway, here's Anders Nilsson in the other BMW. So he comes over the crest up towards Druids. It's looking a bit less lively than Grant was through here. I think that may be a difference in the driving styles. I know Grant has very fast hands and he makes good use of that the way he drives. As we can see, Anders here looks a lot smoother. As I say that, that's a big... Yep, there he's lost it coming out of Old Hall Corner. I say that's something you do have to watch out for with the BMW. It's very easy to loop it. Anyway, here's Richard Wilkes in the Audi. This, of course, is the four-wheel drive Quattro. Of course, as with the four-wheel drive, it's also the heaviest car in the field. Maybe holding him back a little bit. Also, I think not the easiest car to set up, this one, but a lot of potential in it. Oh, I did spot there's Vauxhall Vectra here. Now that's Dante Barbera, who we didn't see earlier. I think he may have been having some PC issues as well earlier, but
checkered flags out.
hopefully he's got them sorted out.
That's the end of the session. P14.
As the clock ticks down, that's the end of the warm-up session. So there's the times for it. It's Grant at the top, followed by Jonathan Orklimp, you our boss, and David Saber. And it's looking very, very tight at the top. This could be quite the exciting race, I think. So I think we're just waiting for Simon Watman to rejoin. Yeah, it's unfortunate the numbers aren't quite as high as they were earlier in the season, but that's still enough cars for a decent race. I suppose it is the summer, everyone's a bit busier now. But as I say, plenty of spare cars going if you are watching this and you fancy a go. Come race with us, it's fun. Oh well, wait then. Did everyone have a nice weekend? I know it was Le Mans this weekend. I managed to watch a couple of hours of that. Certainly looked quite good. I shall watch a bit more of the replay probably later tonight. So yes, we're still just waiting for one car to rejoin. This is once again where I demonstrate that I'm not a proper streamer and that I'm rubbish at filling time. So I do apologise for the delay, but hopefully we'll get going again shortly. The perils of live television. So as I put this together a little bit late, I didn't have time to set up a championship graphic. But I'll see if I can sort something out for that.
New fastest lap for Jonathan. Okay, Clint, 101.2.
In a little bit between the races, perhaps. I know it's still fairly fairly close at the top of the order. We'll go and have a little look. Good evening, Berry Lynn. Good to see you. Yes, it's very tight at the top of the championship, actually.
Fastest lap for Jonathan. Okay, Klimt 1:00.7.
I'll read it out now. Jonathan Klimt for Nicholas Kirschen are level at the top of the table, both on 125 points. Juha Boss is third on 123, and John Team is fourth on 122. So the top four within 3 points of each other after 8 rounds. That's not bad. Grant Riddell will be in fifth on 108 points. Anders Nilsson, his teammate, on 107 points, just behind him in sixth.
That's the end of the session, P7.
Myself, I'm in seventh on 72 points, and then there's a big gap to Ricardo Mendez, eighth, who's on 27. And with that, that's the session advancing. So let's get into the race and see what happens. Alright, so here we are then, we're off 7th position. Got the Honda in front of us, the Peugeot to the rear, and an Audi. Right, so car into gear. Eva customary nice big long number 11 on the grid. Let's try and get some heat in these brakes and tyres. It's going to be quite the short warm-up lap. It's not a very long track. 27 laps we'll be doing in the 2 races tonight. Here we go then, get ready. Let's see what trouble we can get ourselves into tonight.
The track temp is 22. The air temp is 20 Celsius. Okay, Dave, here we go.
Yeah, brakes are nice and warm. Front tyres are nice and warm. Rears are a bit cold, but they'll be alright. Let's just try and get a good start and see what we can do. Here we go! Car's rolling forward.
Floor it.
3 wide, you're on the left. Car right. Clear right.
Oh!
On your right.
Oh dear! That was a Volvo going flying.
Keep it steady.
Sector 1 is yellow.
Clear right.
We can see John Tim has crashed.
I don't want to send it too hard on my teammate. Especially when he's only 2 points off the championship lead.
Sector 1 is clear.
But I think we need to get past this Audi quickly. He's holding us up.
B6.
Excuse me. Oh! Oh my!
Left side, clear to the left.
Yellow flag, keep your wits about you, mate.
That's one way of getting past someone, I suppose.
It looks like Richard Wilkes has stacked it.
Clear to the right.
Green flag in Sector 2. Nice one, Dave. This is great. Come on, keep nailing those exits. P5.
So we've got Kirsten behind us. Just going to try and ignore that.
Make him do all the work. Focus on your exits.
Oh, we see the Peugeot going into the pits behind us.
Yellow
Try and
flag.
be fast and clean, try and whittle that gap down.
We think that Ray Riddle has spun off. Green flag Sector 3.
It's definitely not over yet. Those guys at the front start fighting each other. Could be on them very quickly. Tyre wear's quite high around here as well on that left front. So that might spice things up a little bit later as well.
Okay, Dave. Don't let this guy distract you. P5.
Just like that, that's 7 laps gone already. Gap to the lead staying fairly steady around 5.5 seconds. Well, Yuha is pulling away from us. Also keeping Kirsten at a safe distance, so it's going alright so far. I say that's Kirsten right on us. He's not there, just ignore him.
Let's see how wide you can make this thing.
Oh, that was a terrible line.
Car right. Hold your line. Clear to the right. Car left. Hold your line. Clear on the left.
Oh, beautiful move. I got to give it to.
Dave, come on, don't let him get away.
I got to give it to him. That was an excellent bit of driving. Saw his moment and he took it. Made it go around the outside. Very impressive. Well, let's see if I can get him back.
Sixth place. Yellow flag in sector 3. It looks like Richard Wilkes has gone off. Sector 3 is clear. Alright Dave, halfway home, fuel's good.
I can't do it. I'm going to need him to make a mistake if I want to catch him. Or I'm going to have to start doing something really special.
Yellow flag.
Oh.
We can see Jonathan. Okay, Clint has binned it. Green flag in sector 2.
Okay, freebie, we'll take that. Well, unlucky for Jonathan, but
Your left front has a bit of wear.
good for me. That's both the Volvos running into trouble.
P5.
So that'll certainly throw a hand grenade into the championship battle.
Incidents in sector 2, yellow flag. We think that Richard Wilkes has crashed. Green flag, sector 2.
Oh! That might be what I need. Need some clean laps now, Dave. Come on. Put some pressure on him.
Incident in sector 3. Sector 3 is yellow.
He has one moment, he can have another one.
It looks like Richard Wilkes has binned it. Sector 3 is green.
Maybe he's struggling with the tyres, who knows? Oop. I think we got away with that. I think we may have only lost the 10th or 2.
Yellow flag, sector 2. Sector 2 is clear. Jason White is now retired.
Oh no. Wonder what happened to him. That left front's starting to nope out of here. And if mine's doing it, so's everyone else's. Suddenly those two BMWs at the front of the field are looking very strong. Well, Jonathan's on a mission, and he's not far behind me now.
P5.
On your left. Clear left.
Jonathan, okay. Clint is gaining on you. The gap's now 2.8 seconds. Sectors 1 and 3 are 0.3 off the pace. Sector 2 is 0.2 off the pace.
I may be doomed.
Lap time was at 101.7. Sector 2 is 0.6 off the pace.
Being besieged by an angry house brick. Being driven by a very quick Swedish chap. And that front left's completely melted now.
Okay, Dave, hold your nerve, just keep it smooth, no mistakes.
It's not going to be easy to keep him back there. Guy just doesn't want to turn into the right-handers.
Still there. Hold your line. Still there. Clear right. You're clear.
That was grimly inevitable, but let's see if I can counter-attack. I need to do it very quickly.
B6, 2 to go.
That's it. Tyre's got nothing left to give.
The gap to Jonathan Clint ahead is increasing. It's now 1.3.
Just got to do one more lap. We'll still get a 6th place, which is okay.
One more lap to go.
I just need to try and manage the tyres a bit better in race 2.
We're seeing a bit of wear on your front tyres.
You're a bit late with that one there, Jim.
P6, that's the finish. Well done.
That's not a bad effort. Could be better, but also could have been a lot worse. At least we didn't make any major errors or hit anything. So that's a win for Grant Riddell in the BMW. About a second and a bit up the road from Anders. I think looking at that tyre wear, it's quite understandable why the BMWs would be at the front at the end. So Rob and Jonathan, quite enjoyed that.
Look out for the pit speed limit.
So there's your result for race 1. Right, and with that I shall step away for a few moments because there is a cat staring at me to tell me that it's his dinner time. So I'll do that before he starts shouting at me. So I shall be back.
Checkered flag, P7. That's the end of the session. 7th position.
Right, and we are back. Just in time. Let's get to qualifying session number 2 then. We'll go with the hard tyres, I think. They worked a lot better.
Track's clear. Push, push, push. We've got 19 minutes to set a lap. Cold tyres all round.
Right, so here we go again then. Qualifying number
Got cold
2.
brakes all round. Be careful.
See if we can go one better.
Sector 2 is yellow. It looks like Simon Wattsman has spun off. Sector 2 is now green. You're 2/10 off the pace in Sector 2. P5.
Okay, that's not a bad start. Absolutely go fast though.
Sector 1 is quick. Your tyre temps are all good. Sector 2 is 0.7 off the pace. 0.7. That's your quickest lap in this session. Sector 3 is 0.3 off the pace. Sector 2 is 0.3 off the pace. Eighth place. Good lap. That's your best in the session. Sector 3 is 0.3 off the pace. You're a 10th off in Sector 1.
Oh,
Car left.
sorry.
Clear left.
Not quite sure what was happening there, but I was the car behind.
Sector 3 is 0.8 off the pace. You're 2/10 off the pace in Sector 1. Sector 1, yellow flag. Sector 3 is 0.3 off the pace. That's 5 minutes of fuel left. Okay, Dave, there's a car exiting the pits, heads up. You're a 10th off the pace in Sector 1.
Car right, clear right.
7th position. That's your best lap in this session. Sector 3 is 0.4 off the pace. Sector 1 is 0.5 off the pace.
So I'll bring the car in, stick some fresh tyres on it, try and improve. Just not able to at the moment.
What's your speed limit in the pits? Okay, Dave, 10 minutes to go. That's 10 minutes left.
So there might have just been a little bit of damage at the front of the car from that collision we had. Nothing showed on the car monitor down there at the bottom right, but that's okay.
Looks like you're clear on the pit exit. Your tyres are cold, watch out.
Let's go again.
Your rear brakes are cold.
On your left, clear to the left.
It's very tight at the top again. Look at that, less than a tenth between the top three.
The guy behind has just done a
Alright, here we go.
101.2.
Let's try again. Let's try and squeeze a bit more out of this car.
P8. Sector 1 is 0.3 off the pace. Your tyre temperatures look good. Sector 2 is 0.2 off the pace.
That's not going to do it. Alright, back it off, cool
Sector
the
1
tyres
is
down.
0.4 off the pace.
That lap was already not going to be an improvement, so it's not worth pushing through and cooking the tyres. Save them, let's try and do a better lap.
Sector 2 is 4.8 seconds off the pace. You're 2/10 off the pace in Sector 1. Sector 2's 2/10 off the pace. There's a car leaving the pit lane. Sector 3 is 0.4 off the pace. 5 minutes remaining, 5 minutes left.
Oops.
Yellow flag, Sector 2. You're locking your rears a lot.
I think that's going to be it for qualifying for us then. I don't think they'll get the car back and get it repaired in time to go out meaningfully again. So that's going to be at least, well, P9 for us, it looks like. A bit unfortunate, but it's alright. We'll see what we can do in the race. So as we roll into the final few minutes of qualifying, it's Kirsten on the pole at the moment, just ahead of Jonathan and Grant. Here we see Kirsten coming across the line to start another lap. Oh, big wiggle as he comes into Cascades.
2 minutes to go, 2 minutes.
Comes through Knickerbrook up the hill. So you must still be heating the tyres up if the car looks that loose. Nope, that wasn't a first lap. But this might be. We get just about 1 minute to go in the session. And he's slightly ahead as he goes through Sector 1. Through Foster's Bend, the car looking a lot more planted this lap than it was the last one. Oh, he's backed off. Interesting. Well, Jonathan's in the pit, so he's not going to improve. Nor is Grant, but Yuha may still, as he comes to start a lap. Oh, but that's not going to how you do it. That's going to be a track limits for that one, and the lap will be voided. Or perhaps not. Oh, no, that's
the end of the session.
definitely not it. So your grid for race 2 then, it's going to be Kirsten off the pole, ahead of Jonathan, Klimpf, Grant Riddle 3rd, Juha Boss 4th, Anders Nilsson's going to be 5th, John Team 6th, David Saber in 7th, Robin de Vos up to 8th place, me in 9th, and Richard Wilkes 10th. Hopefully we'll get a better result this race. I'm not dissatisfied with the last one. We would like to do a little bit better though. So with that, qualifying ends and we'll head through to the warm-up. We'll put our race fuel back in. So once again, do let me know in the chat if there's anyone in particular you want to have a look at, and we can make that happen. Do apologise, that wasn't your phone, that was my one. So here we are then, warm up for the race 2. Here we see Jonathan Klimpf in the Volvo. There's Kirsten in the Honda, both together on the track. I think this could be the race for the win tonight, for race 2. Certainly in the last race, Jonathan had the pace, but he got unlucky and he ended up in the gravel at Druids. But he was certainly quick. And Kirsten showed quite the turn of speed as well, so it'll be interesting to see what happens there. We see Kirsten using all of the road and a little bit more. He's comes down into Cascades. Car looks very loose. We saw that in his qualifying run. It looked very loose while it was still coming up the temperature, but then it was quite planted once he got up to speed. Here's Anders Nilsson in the BMW. Comes down the hill on the brakes into Foster's. I keep trying to call that island bend, but no, island bend's the hairpin on the middle length circuit here.
That's a new fastest lap for Richard Wilkes, 101.8.
We know now that the tyre wear is going to be very high, so that does give the BMWs quite the advantage. Being rear-wheel drive, they're a lot easier on their tyres. At the very least, they're not putting 300 horsepower and expecting the front wheels to steer and do all the braking as well. That sentence made a lot more sense in my head. So here we see Grant as he comes down the hill. Looking quite quick so far. You'll be hoping for a repeat of race 1.
Fastest lap for Nicholas Kirsten, 101.1.
That's Kirsten going fastest. So far it's Kirsten from Wilkes in second in the Audi.
New fastest lap for Jonathan O'Kare, Clint, 1:00.6 seconds.
We saw Wilkes made quite the spectacular departure from race 1, ending up on his roof coming out of Foster's Bend. So he'll be out looking to do a bit better this time. As we see the two Audis together actually on track. We've got Ray Riddle in the 44 there and Richard Wilkes in the 45, and slight graphical error on the front of that 44 car there. The Audi's another car that could come on strong towards the second half of the race with a four-wheel drive. It'll still be harder on its tyres than a BMW will, but again, that load's just spread that little bit more. I believe it's quite a nose-heavy car, so we'll have to see. So here's Ray Riddle in the other Audi, with his teammate right behind him. And just ahead of these two, we see the Renault of Juha Boss.
All right, Dave. 5 minutes to go. 5 minutes left.
As Juha brings the car in. Two Audis cross the line together.
That's a new fastest lap for Jonathan O'Kare, Clint, 1:00.6 seconds.
Ooh, that's a very quick lap in race trim. We see Wilkes having a look, just having a little spar with his teammate there. And, here's Michael Drechsler in the, I suppose, the leading privateer car. Oh, and going off in the background there was one of the Volvos. Here's Dante Barbera. We've not seen much of him tonight, but he's here in the Vauxhall Vectra. He finished just behind us in that last race, I think, which is a fairly decent result for him. He's been improving every week so far, as far as I've seen. That's the great thing with these. Doesn't matter if you're going for wins or not. Just as long as you're out there and enjoying your racing, that's what matters. And typically you'll find someone to play with who's the same kind of speed as you. The Audi's still together. Well, it looks like Richard Wilkes has gotten past Ray now. And here's David Sabre. He's qualified quite well for this race. I think he was unlucky in for the first race. I saw him diving into the pits towards the end of the first lap. Hopefully whatever the issue was, it's not going to reoccur this time. He's another driver who's a bit off the pace at the start of the season, but he seems to be getting the hang of this
2 minutes to go,
car.
2 minutes.
He's looking more and more competitive every week, it seems. We've still got, I believe, 5 rounds to go after this one. So there's still plenty of time to make up some ground in the points. Indeed, while I think of that, I shall quickly look up when the next race is. Next race will be on the 14th of July, and that's going to be at Thruxton. And once again, I shall plan to live stream that. So I'll definitely be doing that race. Thruxton's one of my absolute favourite tracks, and it's especially fun in these cars. And as I said, plenty of spare cars going at the moment if you fancy joining us. So as the warm-up session winds down then, just 30 seconds to go, Jonathan Auckland set the fastest time. He's a few tenths ahead of Grant Riddell there in second. Nicholas Kirsten's come in third. Richard Wilkes in fourth place, with David Sabre in fifth and Dante Barbera in sixth. There's a few drivers who haven't run.
That's the end of the session, P13.
Yeah, as the clock ticks to 0, then we'll get ready for race 2. Right, so here we are, starting 9th this time. I want to try and make up a bit of ground here. We just couldn't put the lap together in qualifying, and qualifying's very tight at the moment. But let's just see. So we've got Sabre in front of us this time in the Peugeot, with DeVos over to the left there in the Ford, and behind us we've got the Audi and the Vauxhall. Once again, nice big smoky burnout. Use some nice big rubber strips to launch the car off of. I know I say every time I know that's probably not simulated here, but it makes me feel better and I think it looks good. So once again, we're trying to build that heat in the brakes and the tyres. So when we fly the car into turn 1, it'll actually respond.
Laps. Get ready.
Right, out of the last corner then. Here we go.
Go.
Car left.
Decent launch, but nothing we can do against
Still
that four-wheel
there.
drive Audi.
3 wide, you're on the right. On your left. 3 wide, stay right.
That's not
On
a
your
call
left.
you want to hear. Oh,
Still there. Clear left, on your left. Clear left. Car left. Left side. Hold your line. Clear
yeah, the
left.
front-wheel drive saved me there. Probably should have backed out of that. Never mind. Could be worse. The car's still straight and we're still in the race.
Car left. Clear to the left.
That was an unintentional dive bomb, but I'll take it.
P11, don't panic. You've got time to sort this out. Incident in Sector 2. Sector 2 is yellow. We think Anders Nielsen has gone off. Green flag, Sector 2.
Left side. Hold your line. Clear left.
Come on, Dave. Nicely done.
Right, let's back up to 9th.
B9.
Based on the first race, I probably should be able to catch all those cars in front of me.
Yellow flag. Caution.
Of course, if they want to do that, that'll help as well.
We think that Richard Wilkes has stacked it. Sector 2's green. P8. Gap to David Sabre ahead is now 1.8 seconds.
Closing them down. Trying to go into some of these corners a bit easier, just to try and not eat up too much of that tyre. I don't know if it's working though. But I also don't want to wind it back too much and throw myself off. here's our chance.
Left side. Hold your line. Clear left.
Eighth place.
Old Hall's not a great passing place, so we'll wait. Oops. Oh.
Incident in Sector 2, yellow flag.
Clear left.
Well, Sabre went off and then DeVos followed him in sympathy. I'll just take the pair of them.
Sixth place.
Probably the best I'm going to do unless something happens up there, which, looking at that big gaggle of cars up there, it could well do.
Incident Sector 3, yellow flag.
DeVos runs right again behind me.
We think Simon Wattsman has gone off. Green flag, Sector 3.
Looks like Jonathan's checked out.
The gap to John Tim in front is now 9.1 seconds. That lap was a 101.4. Yellow flag in Sector 3. Sector 3 is clear, green flag. We think Richard Wilkes has binned it. The gap to Robin DeVos behind is now 1.9.
I'll try not to drive like a complete chump.
halfway home. We've got plenty of fuel. You're 2/10 off the pace in sector 1. Looks like a bit of a wet on your left front. Sector 3 is 0.5 off the pace. E6.
I do apologise that I've gone a bit quiet. Trying to concentrate and don't really have anything else I can add.
Left side, clear left.
Okay, Dave, the next car is Grant's Riddle.
I'm still hoping this lot of cars in front of me will start tearing into each
You've
other and
just
I
done
might
a
run them down.
102.0.
And I'm trying not to take too much from my tyre.
The gap to Robin Voss behind is now 3.5 seconds.
And I don't want to let him catch up.
Sector 2 is 0.6 off the pace.
It looks like they're behaving themselves up there. It also looks like we're keeping DeVos at a good distance as well.
You've just done a 101.7. That's good consistency. Keep it up.
Oh, thank you, Jim.
gap to Robin Voss behind is increasing. It's now 5.9 seconds.
I think I've looked after that tyre a little bit better.
Pitting from position 13. We think you'll come out just behind you. You're a tenth off the pace in Sector 1. Sector 2 is 0.5 off the pace. Sector 3 is 0.3 off the pace.
I've looked after the tyre better, but I still haven't had the pace. I think I needed to do a bit more practice mileage this week, which I just didn't get round to. I'll definitely be putting in some miles for the next one though. Any excuse to drive around Thruxton.
Green flag in Sector 2. We can see Simon Wattsman has gone off. Two laps left. Last lap.
Oops, trouble at the final corner. Not close enough.
P6. Well done, mate. Good finish.
Yeah, that wasn't too bad. Wasn't too bad at all. I think that's two P6s then. Not the worst result. I'm content with that, I think. We kept it relatively trouble-free, at least in the races. So yeah, that'll do. That'll do. Another decent haul of points for the team as well. So hopefully next time out of Thruxton we'll have a bit more pace.
Watch your speed.
Well, there we are then. It's a win for Jonathan from Yuha, Nicholas, Kirsten and Grant. Then John Team and myself rounding up the top 6. And with that, that'll be all for tonight. So, next one's going to be Thruxton in just about a month's time, which we'll be here and we'll be live for that. And who knows, maybe there'll be something else in the meantime as well. Anyway, thank you all for watching this evening. I think I saw possibly 7 or 8 people at some points, which will be possibly might be a new record for one of my little amateur hour live streams, so that'd be nice. Anyway, thank you all for joining me. Have a lovely rest of your evening and weekend, and have a good week, and we'll see you again soon. Cheery bye.